What about the English and the grammar?
Well, I happily had to leave to other people much more educated than myself. Hence, Ali and her editing for me, and I had editors before those, and I always really found that absolutely necessary. It was very difficult for me to, without the understanding of grammar, to actually produce something that would be acceptable to anybody else. But my words were there, but they put them into the correct grammatical phrases and whatever.
What then is your regular job? I mean, I think we've got a bit of a clue there. On tell us about that.
Yes, yeah. Well, I've been a postman for 39 years. Wasn't a postman. I came into the job for 6 weeks and never left. It wasn't my first job. I worked in the film studios, which was obviously a big inspiration to me at that time. But eventually, having married and needing money and various things, they throw you into work is the important thing. You have to earn a living. And I joined the post office, and I've never been sorry. It's not demanding, and I often find that I'm going over my story of Geordie or one of the dog books as I'm going around my delivery. And you know, it probably isn't a good thing to do, but it gave me time, and I think if I'd have had a more demanding job, I perhaps wouldn't have had the energy left to really sit down and be creative. So it's been very helpful to me. But as far as a job goes, well, I guess almost everyone can do it.
Have you any plans for other things? Are there any other desires, creative ideas for writing in your head at the moment?
Oh yeah, I'm halfway through another book, which is one that is totally different, because everything I do is totally different. I've done children's books, and I've done Geordie, and now I'm doing one called The Brill Cream Boys, and it's the period of my life, not autobiographical, of course, but it is the period that I lived through. From 15 onwards, and the trials and tribulations that seem comical now, and the situations that we got ourselves into, and I think it draws a picture of that exciting time in the 50s when teenagers first came onto the scene and blasted their way bumbling through life. And I think it's an interesting and humorous book. Hopefully, when it's finished, it will be a good read.
Bob, you seem to have some heroes there around the walls here. You can see John Wayne over there. You can see Elvis over here. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Well, yeah, I guess this little cellar of mine that you're viewing is full of memorabilia that means something to me. It triggers memories like records on the jukebox. I hear one playing, I know exactly where I was and what I was doing at that time. Heroes like Clark Gable and John Wayne that were produced for us to emulate, which wasn't a bad thing because they were good on the screen. They may not have been good people, but they were certainly good in the films. And Elvis and the like. They're all really figures from my youth. And when I sit down here on my own, sometimes I play a bit of music and start to write. I get inspired by this feeling of all the good things that I remember in my life. Yeah. Okay, Alan. Well, thanks very much, Bob. Better go on with some more writing.